In this video guys, we're going to be looking at 10 of the best 90s football collectibles you forgot you had. Let's do this. So ladies and gents, starting off with an obvious one if you're a subscriber of the channel. We never shut up about Corinthians, Corinthian headliners, ProStars as you younger folk might know them as. You've probably not forgotten about these because they continue making them to an extent. They're now called SoccerToppers, but as a 90s kid, most of us, especially here in Britain, collected Corinthians. Now, as I said, you might not have forgotten about these, but you might have forgotten about the ways in which they were packaged, the varieties they came in. For me, I've gone all out on Corinthians. Check out my previous videos, but this is hitting the charts at number 10 because it's a more obvious one. They came out in 1995, leading in to Euro 96. The buzz by having a European Championships right here in England was very much alive, and way to capitalise on that by releasing something that hadn't really been done before. We had Tonka figures, various crap figures that came in cereal boxes, but rarely did we find such a figure that looked very much like the footballer. I know some were questionable. As I'm looking at the box right now, Terry Venables looks great. So those single blister packs, we all know them, or most famously known as being the Min, they would come in these boxes right here. These were for Asda. In this box right here, I've got 6 sealed Paul Gascoigne Corinthian figures in his Rangers kit. So yeah, these would have gone to Asda, various toy outlets back in the 90s, probably Woolworths would have been the main one. They would come like this, or they would come in a box like this to display on the counter or somewhere like that. They would also come in team packs, as I've got right here. Again, I'm not going to go in loads of detail because we've got loads of Corinthian videos. Check out those if you want an in-depth look at Corinthians. We've got a lonely Paul Parker over here. They came in the window boxes too. So, there we go. Number 10. Who remembers Corinthians? I certainly do. You might have noticed as well, guys, we're not down in the 90s nostalgia. Obviously, if you follow us on Instagram or TikTok, you'd have seen that I've had to clear all of my 90s nostalgia out of the gym, ready because we're having our garden done. It's the way in and out. But do not fear, Roy is here. In a couple of weeks' time, we're going to have a brand new 90s football themed gym setup. It's going to be better than ever. So subscribe to the channel because we do all things 90s football. On to number 9. Who forgot these? Look at these absolute beauties. Let's get a close-up of these. Oosh. I don't know if you can tell. You can probably tell who this one is with his trademark hair. Rude Hullet from Chelsea. That's obviously Les Ferdinand. There's a bit of a glare on the box. These on the box say SoccerStars, but they're probably more famously known as Smugs, as it says right there. What I really like about these is the fact that, again, everything seems to have a bit more detail than it does these days. As you can see on the back, not only do you have Les Ferdinand holding up some Smugs, which is pretty cool, but underneath you've got a unique, almost passport. It says Les Ferdinand, it's got his date of birth, his height. His height is only 5'11". I thought Les Ferdinand was taller than that. 13 stone, 5 pounds, very British right there. Striker, Newcastle, country is England, favourite goal, Newcastle debut against Coventry. Fun little facts like that. Everything seems so personal back in the 90s. We could really relate to our favourite footballers, and that has nothing to do with Smugs, but there was little touches I like. I'm very nostalgic, you might have guessed. I think they came maybe loose as well, because I've seen some on eBay. I'm bidding on an Alan Shearer one at the moment, which literally is like this, but with the little tag, with the Smugs tag on. Correct me if I'm wrong, the mug with character. So there we have it, number 9, Smugs. Oh yes. You know what really winds me up, guys? Every time I come to film a video, someone's making a bloody racket. Look at this old bloke mowing his lawn. Shut up, mate. We're trying to work out our top 10 90s football items. So yeah, apologies for the noise, guys. Let's check out number 8. Out of everything on the list, guys, I think these will be the ones you forgot the least, because no one can forget childhood memories of stickers, football stickers, and in particular for the 90s kid, Merlin's Premier League stickers. Right here, I've got the Premier League 96 sticker collection, which I've decided not to put away in a protective case, like I've done for the 99 album. In here, I've got the 99 album, which is pretty much unused, it's blank, and I've got a couple of sealed packets as well. I'm not one of those people, to an extent, that like covers all their items and is really worried about the condition. I don't buy these 90s items in the hope that I'm going to become a millionaire from them. They're very much to enjoy, but as I mentioned, I have a dusty shed gym that obviously gets dusty, dirty. I've got chow, dog hair everywhere, so I like to protect them to an extent. So the very first Merlin's Premier League sticker album was Premier League 94. That came out during the 93-94 season, so that was the second Premier League season. There was obviously sticker albums before that. Everyone remembers the Panini albums. 80s kids probably remember those more than 90s kids. There was a few like football, something in like the early 90s, but none of them had the success that the Merlin's Premier League sticker album had. From 94 onwards, 95 I remember was a really good one, it was a black one. 96 we've got right here. All the way beyond into the noughties, and I think Topps possibly bought out Merlin, or they're owned by the same company, and the licensing now has gone to Panini for the Premier League stickers. But I know I'm nostalgic, I know I'm biased. They will never top these, the original, the OGs, the 90s Merlin's Premier League sticker album. So, as I said, I've got stickers in here. I'm not going to do some pack opening, because I'll be honest with you, they're like £10 a pack now, so it's really not worth opening. But I do have some loose stickers over here. Again, I've put them in these top loaders, not because I think they're going to be of some value, it's literally just to protect them in the shed. So we've got Julian Dix, scored an absolute beaut of a penalty against Man United, against Peter Schmeichel.
Well, it was past them in a block. Absolutely fizz past them.
Stuart Pearce.
And Psycho screaming, 3 lines on the shirt.
Such a 90s goalie right here, Steve Agrizovic. We've got a few different stickers in there, cards and stuff. We've got David Seaman, safe hands. Another goalie that seemed to up his game against Man United, Ludek McCloskey. I know that they've got cards and stuff. I don't even know what the cards are called nowadays. And I know they probably do stickers, as I mentioned, they do a form of Premier League sticker album. They do albums for like the World Cup and stuff. But again, as a biased 90s kid, I think this was the peak in sticker collecting. Let me know if you collected these, or what albums in particular you have the fondest memories of collecting stickers for. So we started off the list at number 10 with Corinthians, but did you know that they did different types of Corinthians? I did not remember these. Corinthian Premier Power Pops, which obviously came flat packed as cards, and they popped up like this. Right here, we should have David Platt. And they'd sit on your side. They're basically the budget version of Corinthians. They're cardboard versions. What I like about them is the collectible element. They came in a pack, you didn't really know what you were going to get, and then boosh, right here in my hand right here, I've got effing a Koku, such a 90s footballer. Literally, I've got loads here, we could be here all day. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me do a separate video where we just just pop up loads of these Corinthian Premier Power Pops. Again, do you remember these? Because I'd completely forgotten about them until I came across them on eBay. So joining David Platt and effing a Koku, let's just pop open a few more. Right here, Brian Robson in his Middlesbrough kit. Makes more sense. Robson, more of a player of the 80s. Let's do 10, shall we? Roy Keane. Oh yes, I know this without looking at the front because it says it on the back. Laurent Blanc, just mentioned him with the Merlin stickers. Julian Dix, Jamie Redknapp, Bernard Lama. There we go. The Great Dane. My fave, Peter Schmeichel. Last but not least, let's do one more. I don't even know. Oh, Lizarazu. Of course I know Lizarazu. I don't think these lasted too long. I guess they came out a couple of years in to Corinthian success. Obviously they've got some of the early ones. We've got David Platt in his Arsenal kit right here. But as I mentioned, you've got like Bernard Lamas. They've got a lot of international ones as well. I know Corinthians released their figures, their cards worldwide. Very, very nice. Like I said, I've got loads right here. So if you do want to see me pop open some more, Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, let's move on. Ooh, number 6 is a good one. Let's check it out. So next up, guys, we've got Subbuteo Squads. Everyone remembers Subbuteo. It started way before the 90s, proper old school game, collectible. But who remembers Subbuteo Squads? I've got 2 sealed booster boxes right here. I'm not going to open the booster boxes quite yet. Again, if we reach a certain number of subscribers, maybe we'll do a whole booster box opening. But do not fear, Raya's here with a pack opening today. We're going to be opening a sealed pack of mid-90s Subbuteo Squads. So here we go. You can tell that's been sealed for almost 30 years.
2,000 years later.
First out the pack, Alan Thompson from Bolton. Second out the pack, Steve Chettle from Nottingham Forest. Very 90s name right there. Next in the pack, Andy Townsend from Aston Villa. My mum will be happy, big Villa fan. Next out the pack, looks like QPR, Steve Yates from QPR. Pulling out all the superstars today, guys. Next up, looks like Man City, Huey Rosler. Great card right there. Before City were the force they are today. That looks like Juninho. No, big letdown right there. Craig Hignett from Middlesbrough. And getting towards the end right now, David Weatherall from Leeds. Such 90s players, you just don't hear of them today. Nigel Spatman for Chelsea. Before Chelsea kind of took it up a gear and got Zola and Di Matteo and all the foreign stars. Probably not the best pack opening right there of Subbuteo Squads, but fun nonetheless. Let me know your thoughts of Subbuteo Squads back in the day. It definitely was something I didn't really collect much of. I remember opening a few packs, but Subbuteo Squads in terms of a trading card game, a playing game, obviously it says card game system on the box. There was a legit way of playing with these cards. People think that Pokemon kind of was the OG and everything else followed. This would have been a good few years before the Pokemon trading card game came out. So yeah, really, really nice to see and open a pack of Subbuteo Squads. Now this is a good one, guys. Number 5 on the list. This is something very 90s that they no longer do today. Cereal box stuff. There was so much I could have put on the list. As I mentioned, I'm going to do another list if you've enjoyed this video. But this is probably, for me, one of the most famous ones. These are the Sugar Puffs SoccerToppers. Basically pencil toppers. Everyone had these in school. I mean, you, as a 90s kid, you must have had these. As someone that watched football, played football.
Hey, monster, where's mine?
I've saved some.
Here's something else to save! 27 superb SoccerToppers from 9 of the UK's top clubs! One free in special packs of Sugar Puffs!
They're tops.
These are just awesome. They came in, I think there were 27 different varieties at the start, and I believe this is every single one of those 27. You've got Aston Villa, you've got Newcastle, you've got United, you've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Rangers, Celtic, Chelsea and Leeds. Basically 3 of each. All angles of the country covered. Obviously the top teams, or those that people would consider to be top teams, are a little bit different in the 90s than they would be today. But really, really cool. Sugar Puffs did those little figures as well. I think they had Kevin Keegan on the advert. I think they came before these. But yeah, these are definitely one of my favourite. I mean, looking at them, I don't know why in cereal boxes they don't do toys like this anymore. Maybe they do and I just haven't noticed. But one thing of many things, let's be honest, that kids miss out on these days. Collectible stuff that's cheap, you know. Let me just get one of the cereal boxes over there. Obviously this isn't a Sugar Puff cereal box, guys, but we do, every Monday we add a piece of France 98 nostalgia to our Soccer AM World Cup wall. But I just loved, every cereal box was kind of football themed. Obviously this isn't Sugar Puffs, but Sugar Puffs definitely went all out in the 90s. I must say honestly that I never ate Sugar Puffs as a kid, but we always ended up buying them just so I could get the free stuff. So as a marketing thing, surely it worked, surely it was a success financially. So I really don't know why they don't do stuff like this anymore. But there we go, number 5, SoccerToppers. So the next one's a weird one, guys. But do not kid me right now. You know that you had some pictures like this on your wall in your bedroom back in the 90s. They don't seem to do stuff like this anymore. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but they were like prints of painted, almost like cartoony caricature pictures, and I used to love them. I've been on eBay and I've seen some more of the ones I had as a United fan in the mid-90s. This is one of them. This is the Cantona, the goal that won the double. Obviously the 96 FA Cup final against Liverpool. This one right here is basically a few Aston Villa players during the Little era. You've got Dean Saunders, is that Ugo Ekiog? These were all the rage in the 90s, and I kind of miss that nowadays. I was in the United Megastore a few weeks back, and I was saying to my mum, I was like, look at the Megastore right now. It's just basically like an Adidas shop. They don't have those quirky things for kids like when we were young. Again, I'm sounding like a grumpy old bloke, but they don't. What do kids have these days? I know they have like stuff for their iPads and stuff, but it's just not the bloody same. I loved having these quirky little pictures on the wall. I'm sure you did too. And yeah, just get on eBay. There's loads for sale, probably because no one wants them apart from me. But I loved these. And they're not really a nice collectible, but they were definitely something you had and you probably forgot you had. Here we go, guys. Next up, you of course remembered the Merlin's Premier League stickers. You probably didn't forget those, but I guarantee you forgot these. Merlin's Premier League collector cards. Now I've got these sealed away. Again, a bit dusty in my shed. I'm not going to be doing a pack opening of these in this video. We need to crack on. But if you do want to see me do a pack opening, again, subscribe and let me know in the comments below. These cards I'd completely forgotten about. I couldn't even tell you what they looked like, to be honest, but I definitely had them as a kid. I had pretty much everything as a kid. Very spoiled. These probably weren't as popular as the Subbuteo Squads. If you go on eBay and you see people that have like the graded cards and stuff, it tends to be Subbuteo Squads that people get graded. But these are pretty cool as well. Merlin obviously did the stickers, the most famous for the stickers, but these cards probably come in at second place. They also did a third collectible, which I'm not going to mention because if this video does alright, I'm going to do a part 2 where we look at 10 more 90s football collectibles you probably forgot. So Merlin, just like Corinthian, were just smashing out the products in the 90s, and who can blame them? The Premier League was new, it was fresh, and it was thriving. Speaking of Corinthian, we've already had 2 Corinthian items. We've had the original Corinthians, the headliners, we've had the Premier pop-ups. Nice little collectible. But did you know Corinthian did... I can't be on that. Yeah, we're on number 2, sorry. Yeah, Corinthian did. I was worried about jumping the gun there. Corinthian did these as well. Now these are a little bit controversial, bear with me. Just checking, just checking my address book on the front. So as I mentioned, I've done many a Corinthian video, and arguably there's a guy who is known in the Corinthian community. It's kind of the king of Corinthians. He's got a website called the Corinthian Archive. I'm talking about Craig. Now I asked Craig, did you collect these? Now the reason I'm bringing up Craig, as I said, he's known within the community as probably the main man when it comes to Corinthians, but he did not collect these. And I said, Craig, did you collect the Corinthian Premier Power Play? Surely you did. He's like, no, they're basically Barbie dolls for blokes, which is hard to argue. I, maybe being somewhat flamboyant as a child, I collected these, and I kind of treated them like Barbie dolls. A little bit weird having little Giggsy walking around undressing Giggsy. If you go on eBay, they're literally selling these loose without the kit. They're just bloody naked. So the comparison to being like a male Barbie doll is quite hard to avoid. But these Corinthian Power Play, as you can see on the screen right now, they came, try and get the glare off these. We've got Giggsy on the left, but they also came with like an interchangeable head. So they'd almost come in a double pack. This one's upside down, but we've got Nicky Butt. So if you're fed up with Giggsy, fed up with stripping Giggsy naked and doing all kinds of weird stuff with him, you can do the same with Nicky Butt. The same if you're a Geordie, if you're from the northeast, like Craig, the king of Corinthians, you've got right here Rob Lee, and you can interchange his head with David Batty. David Batty, very much a 90s character. So many rumours going around about David Batty. No one can find him these days. Apparently there's a rumour going around that David Batty insisted that he had his wages paid in cash. Whether that's true or not, let me know in the comments below. But also let me know, did you collect Corinthian power play? I still think they're cool, regardless of the Barbie tag. These definitely were a 90s throwback. Last but not least, guys, I've yet to actually, even though I've cut it open, I've yet to actually get this out the bag. This is number 1 on our list. I'm not saying that the list is in any particular order, very much all on a level playing field. But what we've got right here, similar to Corinthian power play, but maybe a little less Barbie-like, a little bit more manly, and what better player to have in his sealed form than the king. Who are Eric Cantona? Now these are called Vivid Imaginations figures, and as you can see right here, soccer superheroes. I find that with the 90s, they tend to have a name then another name, like we had with, where are they? Like we had with the Smugs, they're also called SoccerToppers. It's almost like they just threw everything that they made in the 90s. They just kind of hit and hoped, in the hope that they would work. Now these Vivid Imaginations, they didn't seem to last that long, did they? Here we have Cantona in the Manchester United 96 to 98 kit with the button, and I don't remember them doing the exact figures like this before or after. I know United did some kind of Heroes of the Treble figure, but for me, I think this was very much a 96 to 98 era figure, which is a shame because I think they're good. They're kind of like larger versions of the Corinthians, but as far as I'm aware, they were a limited range. I'm a little bit annoyed because last year at the car boot, when I was buying up all kinds of stuff, I had a Steve McManaman one and a Robbie Fowler one. And I'm sorry, Liverpool fans, don't hate me just because I'm wearing a United shirt, but I've either thrown them out by accident. This was before I started doing a 90s football YouTube channel. I don't know where they've gone. So I did have some of these, and they're awesome. I'm going to keep Cantona sealed. As a United fan, I'm going to have a little United display in the new 90s nostalgia. But for me, I put this at number 1 on the list because it's probably something that you don't remember unless you're a hardcore nostalgia guy like myself. There we go, guys. Let me know at the 10 what was your favourite of those 90s collectibles. Which ones did you remember? Which ones had you completely forgotten about? And remember, stick that thumbs up, because if you enjoyed the video, I'm going to do a part 2, 10 more of the best 90s football collectibles you probably forgot. Really enjoyed making this, and if you enjoyed watching it, be an absolute darling, and as I said, subscribe for weekly 90s football content. Sorry about the kind of makeshift setup today. I'm going to probably have to do this again next week, and in the following week we'll be back in the man cave smashing it again. There we go, guys. I will see you next week.